Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Yeah, I know it's the doom and gloom show, right? Not really. Cracks me up with people that say that. They obviously don't watch. They kind of call themselves out as someone that doesn't watch the channel much, because if you've watched me for very long, you know that I really do my best. I try to keep the fears down and try to calm everyone, because there's no point in denying that things are bad and things are getting worse, but we also shouldn't live in fear. We should be prepared, not be terrified, not get depressed, not lose hope, because there's always ways to prepare ourselves and to see a brighter future, even though it may not be the one that we want. There's some weird things going on in the world, and I'll probably touch on those, but I wanted to let you know, in case you're not paying attention, that gold and Bitcoin is in the record territory, like beyond the record territory. 2,200 for gold. It's been bouncing around there today, broke that level, and I think it came down, maybe back up, doing that kind of crazy stuff. Still very high. And then Bitcoin broke the 70,000 mark, and it's been bouncing around in that area. Now, I'm no expert in this, but typically when you see things like that, especially gold, start to go up, that means the purchasing power, the value of the US dollar is going down. Typically means not great things for the US dollar and the currency and all that kind of stuff. And with the amount of debt that we're going into, yeah, probably some things are up. People are buying it, and a lot of people are wondering, is gold going to be a real breakout? I've seen predictions this year that it may end up breaking through the 3,000 mark this year. I don't know, but it's possible. And then there's, I was reading a little bit the other day that the prediction on Bitcoin is that when it makes its next breakout, maybe this time is it or it's not, that we could be seeing $300,000 Bitcoin. That may be a little extreme, but I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility, especially if the US dollar just keeps losing it, with BRICS growing and their share of the global economy growing. They're saying 24 new nations this year are wanting to join BRICS. So yeah, it's just a matter of time. One thing that I only say this because I think that there's bigger implications when it comes to the Great Reset Agenda 2030 kind of plan. If you've paid any attention at all over the last few years to that stuff, one of the things, this green energy that they're pushing for us to all live in little tiny cubicle, in smart cities, 15-minute type cities, little cubicle apartments, where you don't have a car, or if you do, it's a tiny little electric vehicle, you don't travel, all this kind of stuff. And one of their things is to end air travel, because it's so pollutant. Now, it's okay for them. I mean, they fly around in private jets, right? Most of these elites burn up in 1 year more carbon emission than you do in a lifetime. But that's okay, because they're out there doing good for the world, right? But they're wanting to stop just commercial airlines. Have you noticed lately that there's been a lot of accidents? A lot of strangeness going on in the commercial airline industry. There was that door that blew off on that Alaska flight. They grounded some planes there. There was one just a couple of days ago where a tire, yesterday or the day before, where a tire fell off and landed on several vehicles in the parking lot. Today, there was a collision, no injuries. It was just a couple of wings that hit on a runway, and then another plane, the landing gear failed and it slid off the runway. I believe also no injuries. There's been a few small plane crashes. There was one a few days ago in Nashville. It just seems like, and maybe I'm overthinking this, but it just seems like that there's more and more happening with airline industries, and maybe that's going to be what they need to say, oh, well, we need to cut back on stuff, which is the kind of the beginning of the end for commercial air travel, which is fine with me. I see the implications, but for me personally, I have made the choice long ago to never fly again. So it's not affecting me personally, but I do understand that it's affecting other people, or will affect. NATO has announced that, or at least they have approved they have approved that F-35s under the command of NATO can now potentially carry nuclear-tipped missiles. This has been a big thing with Russia because they've talked about, F-16s. Well, they are F-16s in Ukraine, and there's even been talk about potentially using F-35s for Ukraine. And Russia has said, these planes are capable of carrying nuclear weapons, and so we'll just consider them all carrying nuclear weapons because we don't know. This is possibly, getting things more and more ready over there. Just a few days ago, Germany's government did a dry run of basically putting, alerting the government and them all going into some drill that took them underground in bunkers. Germany seems to be getting ready for this more than others, but I think that we're watching a plan being executed that will lead to World War III. And you just watch. I know everyone's gotten tired of the whole Eastern European theater with Russia and Ukraine. I get it. And some of you think that it has nothing to do with us and isn't going to affect us. But I don't think that that's the case. I think that there's definitely stuff going on there that will affect us. I saw today just a little blip in the news that the Pentagon's investigation on UFOs has been completed, and they said that there's no evidence that there's extraterrestrial UFOs or that any of these sightings or any equipment or planes or technology that the government has is any kind of reverse engineering. Now, of course, on one hand, why in the world would we believe anything that the government says, especially the Pentagon? They can't even keep track of their own funds. On the other hand, though, what if they're right? What if it's not extraterrestrial aliens? What if it's fallen angels? Something like that. I don't know. I don't want to get into that too big here, but I just thought that was interesting. There's always right there on the outer edge here lately a lot of stuff about aliens and that technology, and I think that's definitely going to be a big player in all the end time stuff that we're kind of getting into. Mostly just that there's just a lot of craziness going on, and I don't know, we have to be prepared for it. There was some report that came out that, the pokey poke has in fact caused, cell damage and heart damage and stuff. Big shock there. More and more stuff always about what's going on in the Middle East. Of course, the State of the Union address last night, and, the crypt keeper came out and spoke for an hour or so. Other than that, it's just lots of craziness going on, and we really need to be preparing for that. I know, I see it every day. I get people emailing me and in the comments complaining that I say that. I do it because I repeat myself in this sense, because I know that in my experience with just people, that we have to, and I'm including myself in this, that we have to be reminded, pushed, because what we're doing, it's not that it's not natural, it's just not something that any of us have ever experienced. We've never experienced a collapse of government. We've never experienced this level of calamity and chaos, right? And because there's such a strong opposition out there trying to convince everyone that everything's okay, and to, just go about your daily lives, trust the government kind of thing. I think that reminding and pushing constantly it can actually help people, okay, yes, I get it. I got to keep doing. Can't forget. I got to keep doing this, so that we're not putting things off. We're not becoming a little complacent. We're not, getting just relaxed too much. I'm not saying that you need to be on edge. I'm not saying that you need to be in a panic. Of course, I don't want you to be that, but I want you to be, and myself, I'm pointing the finger here at myself also, to be constantly moving forward with more preparations, with getting your mental state ready for what's happening and what will happen, getting your spiritual life, your walk with Yeshua, and your connection with God in a closer connection, that connection with the Almighty Creator, that many of us you know, we have it. We believe. We're believers. We're servants of the Most High. But you know, we've also been that way during times of good, and then when things get really bad, that's when our faith is really tested. So I think it's a complete picture here that we need to be doing of moving forward, getting more prepared, getting ourselves ready, because it's happening, it's coming. Um, and it appears that it's coming at a pretty good clip, pretty good pace at us now. And so it's just simply preparations time. I mean, that's all it is. You've got time still to do. I mean, I'm still talking to you on a YouTube and stuff. So if I'm still able to do this, then most likely you can still prepare. How much time you have left before you can't do that anymore, I don't know, but you still have time now. So keep doing that. Keep getting ready, getting your family ready, getting your tribe ready, your mag, your community, whatever it is, because dark days are ahead of us, and I think they're not that far off. Get your houses in order, folks, and be preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.